Hey, Classroom Crusaders. How is it? How is everyone? Oh my gosh. How are you? How is everyone? I can't even speak right now. Whew. I am sure you're feeling the same way, but I just feel like I'm busier now than ever before. Oh my goodness. I've decided time is so interesting when you are in the same space for all day. It's like a bucket of water, right? Like, so if I had a glass of water, the water will fill whatever boundaries that glass gives me. But if I have a big open bucket, water will fill all of that. And almost like that's what time is like, right? Like it'll fill whatever we allow it. So if we don't have a lot of boundaries on our time, it can just take over and manage us. And we got to be managing our time, right? So I have been really working on my time blocking. But today it's like, oh my gosh, everything just sort of got away from me. But I did do a nice walk with my dog, so at least I got to do that. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Teresa. I'm glad you guys are here. I have lots of things I want to share with you, but one little logistical thing I want to tell you is that there's some very cool things with Facebook groups. I have a very robust group of nutrition people that I work with, and we use this feature all the time. So when Katie and I put this together, I was like, we have to do this. So in the units section, you'll see units as a section because we have our Facebook group set up to be a social learning community. So in the unit section, you're going to see different categories, kind of like modules or buckets or units. And so as we post things, we're going to store them in the units so you can go back and find stuff really easily. So if like the training I did yesterday on Think, Pair, Share, that is in the unit called Instructional Strategies. And as you guys post different things, which I really want you to be doing, then we'll just organize them so people can go back. So if you have a really great idea, then we'll put it into something, some sort of a category, so people can go back and look at it. So go check out the units because we've been able to put a few things in there if you've missed anything up to this point. So we're going to go over a few Zoom questions and answers. We've been getting lots of questions, and I think Katie and I were talking, we said we should go over some of them because I'll bet you there's some questions that you might have or you didn't even know you had, right? So that could be. And we are doing more Zoom trainings. We've got 4 more going on tomorrow, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, and then there will be no more trainings. That will have been, I don't even know how many at that point, like 12, and then we're doing a bunch of individual ones for schools, and we're going to be done after that. So if you know people that want to do the training, send them to classroom-u.com, or I'll put a link in the comments too of where they can sign up directly. We are putting one training together for principals. My colleague, who is a school leader right now, and I are putting together a training for principals on how you lead a virtual staff effectively. So he is kicking butt right now with his tech savviness, and we've kind of been working with some principals on some ideas. So we want to share some of those ideas with your leaders. So if you're a teacher and have a principal that might want to go, we're only going to do one, and we're going to keep the group pretty small. So I will put a link in there for that. Hi, Terry. Katie is here, and Carrie, who spells her name right, and Maria. So glad to have you here. Okay, so I will get a link in there for you about that. Actually, Katie, if you're in here, can you throw the Calendly link in here so that they can see both the training for teachers and the training for principals, if you're listening to me right now? Okay, so let's go over a couple things. Let's talk about students in video. So we've had questions about students putting their videos on. A couple things I want to share with you. If you are recording and students have their videos off, you won't see them in the recording. So if you don't want them showing while you're recording something, you can have them turn their video off, or you can turn their video off for them. There are some questions about student rights with video. I have said this before, I'm going to say this again. Nobody knows what they're doing. Okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. So if somebody says to you, you can't record students, I am telling you that this is uncharted territory for everyone. If you listen to my mindset talk on Monday, locus of control is very big. Okay? If you have photo and video releases, then I have been looking into this a lot. you should be fine. And there's no precedent setting around that. And you're not sending it out to the masses, right? You're recording it for your private use, which is typically going to be covered under your school and video releases. If you really want to be safe and take another step, go to the parents and say, listen, we're going to record these sessions. Do you have an issue with that? And you can have them sign something or give their consent as a reply in email. I don't think you need to go that way. There's a lot of information already out there around Zoom and FERPA being in alignment. So there's a lot of stuff going out that FERPA won't allow Zoom. There's a lot of rumors going out there about that. So there actually is an agreement with them. So Zoom has that on their website. Katie can even put that link in there. I don't know if you have any more questions about students and video. There is one piece that I've been talking about in my latest webinar. So if you took an earlier one, I might not have mentioned this. But if kids have video on, I do think about the equity. And I've taught in school systems before where we had really kind of a very big discrepancy on socioeconomic status. And I think about a kid who's got a background of this like beautiful big house behind them and somebody else that's like sharing a bedroom with their parents and their siblings. And I think that could be really hard. So I am encouraging you, if you're doing videos, to encourage kids to just have like a blank wall behind them, that everybody is doing that, or that they decorate their own background with posters. Or if they can do virtual backgrounds, then fine. I find that to be a little bit tricky though. Okay, how can I prevent students from unmuting themselves and talking all at once? Super simple. All you do as the host is click participants. And at the bottom, you're going to see mute. You can click that and click, there's a little arrow that pops up and it just says mute all. And then here's the tricky part. There's a little tick box. Unclick the box, because if the box is left clicked, it says allow participants to unmute themselves. You want to unclick that box so that they cannot unmute themselves. And then you can unmute them one by one if you need to. Okay. How can I prevent students from, I got that. Can my co-teacher and I co-host a Zoom meeting? Yes. Okay. So there's two ways that you're going to think about this. When you're scheduling a meeting with Zoom, you can, if you're on zoom.us on the website, there's a place that says, do you want to have a co-host? And you can put their email in. If they have a Zoom account that's upgraded, that will work. If they don't, like Katie doesn't have the upgraded account and I do. So anytime I put her email address in as the co-host, it doesn't work. But that's okay, because as soon as we are in a meeting together, all I have to do is hover over her name and participants, and there's a little arrow and a drop down, and I can say make co-host. So for all of our trainings, I just go in and make Katie the co-host right away. Now, what does it mean to have a co-host? It means that Katie can mute everyone for me while I'm speaking. She cannot do the breakout rooms. So that is like, I am the only one that can do that. But I can put Katie in any breakout room I want to. So if she's like a co-teacher of mine, I can move her to any room I want to move her to. She can, when you're doing co-host, there's a few other things. She can lock the room. So there's some security measures. I'm going to talk about some security measures too. She can lock the room for me. So that means if all my kids are in, then I can lock it. She can unmute people and mute people. She can turn people's videos on and things like that. So there's many things. She can't record. Only the host can record. And so I can make Katie the host and she can make me the co-host. We can go back like that by just hovering over our names. But that's kind of that piece of it. So, think about how you would want to use that. What else? Co-teacher, how can I show both my screen and myself as the speaker? Okay, so both myself as, so when you share your screen, your video will automatically go up on the corner if your video is turned on. So you guys should have seen that if you were in my training, whenever I would share my PowerPoint, the video would go right up. If there's also an option to spotlight a speaker so that always that person is showing up, even if other people are speaking, because when the person's picture comes up, but you can make it so just like my picture is up. So Katie, as my co-host, puts the spotlight on me. And you just do that by hovering over the name and clicking down spotlight. Okay? So that's what you have to do that. I have breakout rooms. A lot of people are like, I don't have breakout rooms. Is it because I didn't upgrade? No, it's not because you didn't upgrade. It's because you didn't go into the settings and turn on breakout rooms. So you can have that whether or not you have the free or the upgraded version. Here's a hack too on the free one. If you have the free one, you only get 40 minutes. But you can enter back into the room after the 40 minutes. So, you know, if you get cut off, you can tell everybody just click back in the link and then they can go back in. Okay? Some security questions that people had. So, I have some notes here. That's why I'm looking over here on the side. There's lots of issues with hackers getting into people's Zoom rooms. And then people are like, oh, Zoom is no good because of the hackers. Excuse me. That's not the case. It's because a lot of people are going right into their Zoom rooms and not kind of, this is the way I look at it. In your classrooms, you're not going to just like not go into your room like in the summer and set it up, right? Like you're going to do that. You got to do the same thing in your Zoom room. Go into settings, and I say it's like, you know, like a Chinese takeout restaurant, all the other choices. That's what it's like. There's a ton of them. So go in and clean up your room before your students enter, and you won't have to worry about hackers. So you can lock your classroom so people can't get in afterwards. You just go right to where participants are, and you'll see at the bottom, there's a little, right where the mute all is, there's a little arrow, and you just click on that and say lock meeting, and then nobody can get in. You can also enable a waiting room in the settings where it's like people are actually waiting, and then you can allow them to come in one by one. You can also set it up so no one can join before you get in. You can set it up so nobody can share their screen, because what's happening is it's like an open room, and then a hacker like can share their screen because you haven't turned that off. The other thing is if you're putting your Zoom room out there, like for all of the interweb to see, then they can see it and then join in, and that's where the problem really is. You also have two options for Zoom links for your room. One of them is a standing link that's always the same. Don't share that one. That's like giving away your personal phone number. So if you're in a meeting with somebody and somebody clicks on that, they can come into your room, unless of course you have waiting room enabled or something like that. But don't give away your standing Zoom. Make a new meeting that has a unique link for that class. And then you share that link privately. Okay, just don't share it like on your Facebook page. Hey, here's my link. And that's where the hackers are coming in, okay? So those are a few things about that. What else do we have? Anybody have questions as I go? Yesterday, I lost most of my internet connection in the middle of training. Okay, so this happened to me today while I was doing a training. So if you completely lost, you lost your internet connection in the middle of training. In my training or while you were teaching kids? Because if it was my training, you go right to my website and grab it, or come do another one, because that will be fun. I'd love to have you back. But if you ever see unstable internet connection, that happened to me today during our training. I was like, oh, because I know my daughter was on a Zoom class for her band class. I could hear the saxophone going on down there. And I was like, oh, we might be using too much bandwidth. If that ever happens, you can turn off your video, and that saves a lot of bandwidth. So that helps. Recording. So lots of people struggling with the recording thing. If you do not have the upgraded version, you cannot record to the cloud. And if you are on a Chromebook, it looks like a laptop. I get it that it looks like a computer, but it's not. So you can't record to the computer on a Chromebook because there's no drive to record it to. You have to record it to the cloud. So if that's what your device is, then you're going to have to upgrade. But again, you can upgrade for free right now, so do that. I have been talking to a lot of principals, And so I understand that Zoom is going to upgrade for 30 days. They may change that because a lot of schools are going online longer. But if they don't, just reach out to your principal, you guys. I know I have been talking to principals all week, and they're paying for Zoom for people. So talk about that, because this is an expense you're going to need. I don't want you to stress about that, okay? Oh, Maria, while I was training, come back. Do my training tomorrow. Can you make them turn on their video? You can turn on their video for them. You can just click their little video button and do that. So if they can't figure it out, you can do that for them. Good, Maria. I'm glad you signed up for another one. So Julie, if you're on a laptop, that's a computer. You can record to the computer. When you record to the computer, I want to tell you where it goes. You all have typically, you can redirect it in your settings. So if you don't like where it's going, it took me a while to figure out where the magical place was that Zoom was saving my recordings to. But it saves it to my documents, and then there's a Zoom folder, and it saves it to there. You can redirect it if you want to. But if you're on a laptop, it will save probably to my documents. Is there a way to make sure they use their real name? Tell them to. They can change their name in their settings there, or when they're logging in. I'm not exactly sure how to do that, but you know what you do? This is what I do with my family all the time. I'm like, all of my kids go on a different Zoom, like I give them a link and they're in different rooms. I'm like, everybody go into Zoom. And then I practice with different settings. So you could even do that with people in our group. Say, anybody want to do a practice Zoom session with me? I think that would be awesome if you want to just try things out with each other. You have a community here of people that want to help and do that. You can save the chat. I don't know about the chat. You can set it up in your settings so it automatically saves the chat to your computer or to your cloud. If you don't do that, then you have to manually save the chat, and there's an option right by chat that says save chat. But you want to do it before you end the meeting, because if you end the meeting and you haven't saved the chat, then it's all gone. So I always do it so it automatically saves the chat. And those were all my questions I think I have right now. But you don't have to have the upgraded version to record, but you can only record to your computer. So if you have a computer to record to, you don't have to have the upgraded version. The problem with the free version is that you only have 40 minutes and you can't make a co-host. But you can still do breakout rooms, and you can put a teacher into any of your breakout rooms. So think about that. If you have any other questions, put it in here. Oh, here we go. Nicole. Hi, Nicole. Nicole is a teacher that I used to coach, or a coach actually that I used to coach. How do you send a link so that it goes through calendar, not just a link in email? Okay, this is advanced. So I'll tell you about this. Maybe I'll try to screen record it. I don't know if I can because I already have it set up. You go into your Zoom. Let me go in right now. This is awesome. This is an amazing. If you use Outlook, it's so cool because you can do a calendar invite where your Zoom room automatically gets put into your calendar invite. How do you do that? I think you have to go to advanced. Let's see. I am in there right now. There is a way to do this, and you may have to play around with it. But there is a way to connect. You can do a search. One of the best things about Zoom is that they have the best training ever. Like, their tutorials are so clear and so great. So let me tell you what you can do, and I'll see if I can find it. You can connect your Outlook email to your Zoom. You open up a new email, like you're going to send a calendar invite. It's a plugin. It's super, super simple to do. You open up your calendar invite. You send, put in the to whoever you want to invite. And then you set the time of your meeting on your Outlook. And then you click a little button that's right there in your Outlook calendar that says, let me tell you what it says. It says, I'm looking at it right now. It will say add Zoom meeting. There's a little button right in your calendar that says add Zoom meeting. You click that, it will automatically, if you have your setting in your settings to generate a unique ID with every new meeting, it will automatically generate that unique URL and it will put it right into the invitation. If you have it set up to go into your Zoom room ID, which I don't want you to do, then it will automatically do your Zoom room, your standing Zoom room link. Don't do that. In settings, make sure it always goes to a unique URL. But all you have to do is click Zoom. So you make sure you schedule it first, not in Zoom. You're in Outlook. Make sure you put the date and the time of the meeting in Outlook like you would normally do when you're inviting somebody to a meeting. But instead of sending it right away, you just click Add Zoom Meeting, and it will put right in the location the Zoom link, and then in the body of the email, it will say, Carrie Lipoli is inviting you to a Zoom meeting, and it will give you all of the details right there. It is such a time saver, because I used to go in and schedule the meeting, copy it, put it into an email, and then send it to everybody. Now it's actually a calendar invite that they can click accept, and it goes right into their calendar, and then they have the Zoom link in their calendar invite. So that is very easy, but you're going to have to just play around with integrating your Outlook. Is it hard to upgrade, Jan? Does it matter if the rest of the school isn't? It is not hard to upgrade. Jan, in the resources, after the webinar, there's a Google Doc of resources. There is a link right there about how to upgrade. Katie, if you're on, can you add that link in here? And it's a matter of putting in your school's website, and they ask you a couple of questions. So go and do that. And you can do it individually. Your whole school does not have to do that. Oh, Nicole figured out her camera. Good. You copy an invitation and paste it on Google Classroom. That's totally good. Julie, that's great. You can do that too. Record is next to the share screen. Yes, ma'am, it is. Okay. Katie. Yeah, Katie. All right. That's it. That is all I have for 20 minutes, you guys. That's a long live. I hope that was helpful. I'll try to do that every once in a while. As we're getting more questions, we constantly get questions on our Instagram page and stuff like that. Katie, did you put in the links for the principal? Make sure you put in the links for the principal training and the teacher training, that one Calendly link. Oh, good. So Katie just put in the link right now for you to upgrade. And then she'll put in the training links too, so you guys can share with your principals and all that kind of stuff. You cannot share this training or any of the stuff in the group. You can't share that because this is a closed group. So if there's any links in here that you want to share with other people, just copy the link and then share it with people, okay? We will put some of this stuff on our Facebook page, our Classroom U Facebook page, and you can share from that, which is like our business page, not a closed group. So much to learn, right? All right, that is it. I'm going to go. Thanks, guys. Bye, Carla. Bye, Maria. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.